This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, good morning. Anybody
Good
has any
morning.
questions? Very good morning. Anyone has any questions from the previous sessions? Anything about operators, access groups, application, portals, rule set, and rule set versions? Any questions on any of these topics? Okay, perfect. See, as I always keep telling you guys, please try to be on time to the session. Let's not make others wait that extra 5 minutes for you to join. Also, never ever skip a live session. If you're skipping a live session, trust me, you will be off track down the lane and you will not be in a position to, get placed within 1 or 2 months after the training. Stick to the live sessions. Now, we'll start with a small recap on the so far completed topics. Let's see who can answer these questions. Anam, can you tell me what is a table in which operators are stored?
Hi, good morning, Nikhila. It's
Hey, very
the
good
table,
morning.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's PR underscore operators.
Perfect. Okay. And can you name the blob column in which the entire operator ID record is getting stored?
You want me to say what do we
The name
mean
of
by
the
blob?
column. No, the name of the column in which the blob data is getting stored in the table. That column is important. So that's the reason I'm asking you the column name.
I cannot recall the exact name of
Okay.
the column.
Mm.
Can I?
Okay. Yes, yes, please.
PZPV stream.
PV stream.
Wonderful. Right. So please remember this, guys. See, every table will have lot of columns. It's not required for us to remember every single column name, but some important column names like PZPV stream and few other column names you'll be learning down the lane. So PZPV stream is extremely important because most of the PEGA tables will have this column. It's not just the PR underscore operators table. Most of the PEGA tables will have a column called as PZPV stream, which contains the blob data. And remember, the main purpose of blob is especially to store, files, videos, audio. Generally, we use for that, or to compress the whole data and to store it like a small capsule in a single cell. We use blob. It's just like compressing the data and storing it. So the entire operator ID, whatever data is there in the entire row, everything is again stored in the PZPV stream. And it's very important to remember this column, PZPV stream. Throughout Pega, wherever you see a blob column, the column name always remains PZPV stream. Okay. Now, Ashu, can you tell me what is the relationship between an operator and access group?
With operator ID, we assign the access groups, and with one operator ID, we can assign a multiple access group so that accordingly, we allow the operator ID to access the project, role, and portal.
Wonderful. So instead of project, use the word application because in Pega we call them as
Okay.
applications. So you're
Okay.
right, it is project, but from technical point of view, call it as application. Okay, perfect. And can
Sure.
an operator have multiple access groups? If yes, why do we have multiple access groups?
We give the multiple access group, so that means as we have three, we add application, role, and portal. So means one access group, because through one access group we can provide an access to only one application. Accordingly, to provide the access to the operator, we can add a multiple access groups to the operator ID.
Wonderful. So this is how it is, guys. If you look at this, like Ashu has explained, this is the operator ID. I want this person to access claims application, app factory application, and DM sample. So I gave him three access groups. And whichever you keep it as default access group, that will be the default application that you get when you log in into the application. Now, when you want to switch between the apps, you can use switch application was not coming because I haven't saved this. So if I save it and I have multiple applications, it should ideally show me switch application. See, I can switch between the applications. Excuse me. So this is how you can switch between the applications. Yeah, Ashu, you can go on mute. Let me ask another question. Just a second. Let me see who can take this. Litin, are you new in the session? Litin CT.
Can I do that? Tell me.
So are you new or did you attend the last
No,
sessions?
I have attended last sessions.
Okay, perfect. So can you tell me, do I ever mention an access group of the same application multiple times? Like for example, is it possible for me to give something of claims like this instead of different application? Do we ever give same application different access groups to an operator like
Yes, we
this?
can have those.
Okay, so why do we give it? Can you please say that? Why are we
It,
giving the same applications?
yeah, it is dependent on the roles and the portals. Uh,
Wonderful. See, the reason is, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that's it, Nikhila.
Right. See, you can see this one operator, this guy is having claims application. I understand that. This from this also claims, from this also claims. And why am I giving different access groups? That is because it's not just about the application, it's also about the portal. So if you say for this person, we are giving him developer portal, but maybe this person wants to have developer portal, manager portal, and user portal. Okay, so and not only the portal, even the roles matter. So in this you can see he's getting manager, and in the other one user. So sometimes we even map multiple access groups of the same application to a operator, so that they can access the application in different ways. He want to test the code like a manager, he want to even look at the code like a user. So it's not only about the application and portal, also we have roles. So for all that requirement, sometimes we even map multiple access groups of the same application. Now, Madhu Varada, can you tell me what is an access group in Pega?
Sorry, Nikhila, can you please repeat it?
What exactly is an access group in Pega? What does it contain?
Access group contains portals, sorry,
Hmm.
application and the
Hmm.
portals and
Hmm.
roles, and which
Wonderful.
gives the access to that particular operator ID.
Exactly. So can I have multiple applications in the access group?
Multiple applications we cannot have, but multiple
Mhm.
access groups we can have under one operator ID.
Exactly. So please be aware that under the access group, we cannot add multiple applications. It's not possible to add. So if I want to get access to multiple applications, what should I do, Madhu, then? If I want access to multiple projects, what should I do?
You need to go to the, I mean, under particular operator ID, or you wanna give
Wonderful. Right.
Multiple access
Under that
group.
particular operator ID, you have to give the other application
access group,
access
other
groups.
application
That's it.
access group.
Okay.
Yes.
So just map it in the access group. Don't expect anything to be added in the access group. Here you have to map it. Okay. And how do you make
Nikhila,
any
I
portal
have
as a default? Yes, Madhu.
Nikhila, is Pasha here. I have a question
Yeah.
here.
Yes,
Because
Pasha.
in one app, one access group can have only one application, right?
Right.
So in the access groups, uh, in your previous screen, you're adding the again
This
multiple
is operator
applications.
ID. This is operator
Yeah,
ID.
one operator ID can have multiple access to multiple
Access
access
groups.
groups, right?
Right.
So, but for the same application, multiple access group, how it is?
Can be for the same, can be for different applications. See, if you look at this, I can have same claims application authors and users access group. I can also have a different application access group. For same application, why are we giving? This will give me the content of an author, means developer portal will come. This will give me
Mhm.
the content of a user, means end user portal will come. So sometimes we also want to test the code like a user, like a manager, all these things. So in order to do all such, we need the other access groups so that I can get all the other portals here. See, user portal is coming because of this access group. So like that, we add multiple access groups because we want to test like different people. Because I'm a
Okay.
developer, I want to see how it is working for a user, how it is working for a manager, how it looks for a reviewer. So in all ways, I want to test it. So I may need multiple access groups.
Okay.
Yes, please go on mute. There's a background noise.
Akhila, one more question. When we are
And I'm
adding
Nikhila.
access groups, sorry,
Madhu, I'm not Nikki.
sorry,
Yeah, Akila.
sorry,
Yeah, sure, please.
sorry, Akhila, sorry, Nikhila. When we are
Mhm.
adding multiple access groups, when we are doing save as, and it is giving some errors, right? So we cannot. Uh, can you please go
If you are
that?
logging in as administrator at pega.com and you're trying to do some things, you may get some errors. We are starting the hands-on or practicals on this Sunday. So
Okay.
starting from there, you will have your own application. You will do practicals on all these things, operators, access groups, everything you're going to create. So then you will not see such errors. So there's a restriction when you log in with administrator Pega. There's certain restrictions what you can do and what you cannot do. So it is preventing you from creating. Okay, we'll
I
do
mean,
practicals on all
even
these things.
even I have added new operator ID,
Mhm.
created new operator ID. If I add under that also, I'm getting the same, Nikhila.
Yeah, we'll see that, Madhu. When we start the
Okay.
practicals, if still the issue is not resolved, show me in a screen share.
Okay, Nikhila. Thank you.
Perfect. Move ahead. So we were talking about portals and all and roles. So roles, role to object and privileges. It's still in my bucket, guys. I'll cover this when I teach you some rules in Pega, like at least couple of rules like sections, flow actions, activities. When you learn them, again I'll come back to roles, role to object and privileges. So if somebody asks you, tell me about the security in Pega, you need to talk about operator ID having access groups, and then you need to speak about roles, role to objects and privileges. So security concept is not yet completed. We'll be coming back to this. Okay, because I want you to know what is the rule in Pega, all that I want you to know, what is a class in Pega. Only after that I can tell you role, role to object and privileges. So we are parking the security topic here and we'll be back again. Now, so we spoke about application in Pega. So if I want to open my application, this is the navigation to open the current application. Okay. Now, Soumya, can you tell me what is an application in Pega?
Application is it's a product, like it's a collection of rule sets.
Okay. So what is a rule set?
It's a collection of rules.
Exactly. So an application in Pega is nothing but whatever your rule sets you mentioned here. Okay. Now, what exactly is a rule set? It's just a bunch of rules, a collection of rules. Excuse me, please. It's just a collection of rules. Now, if I started creating a new rule set, okay, I can create a new rule set from sysadmin category. Operator ID we create from organization category. Access group from security category. And rule set from sysadmin cat. Oh, 1 second, sorry. Where is this? It was sysadmin.
Moving down, you'll find
Down,
Nikhil.
down, I think,
Yeah,
Nikhila,
I
it is.
think
Yes.
right.
Scroll down.
Scroll down.
Roll
Yeah,
down.
okay. So you will find it in the sysadmin category. So you can create a new rule set from here. And please be aware that if you created a new rule set and you kept some rules in it, you have to come and mark it here. Okay. If you don't mention the rule set here, it is not going to run the code at runtime. It will not consider your code as a part of this application because Whatever rule sets are listed here, only they are considered as a part of my application. If this is not mentioned here, it means that it is not a part of my application. Your code will save, but it is not going to work at runtime simply because your rule set is not listed here. Okay. And also make sure that you have to mention your major and your minor versions here. Suppose I created a new minor version here 02. Okay, I'm creating a new minor version, center number, right? So you should and must mention that here because right now only 0101 is there. So whatever code is in 02, it will not be picked. So make sure you come and update it. And we don't give patches here. We only give the majors and minors. Okay, so if you still keep it as 01, then whatever code is kept in 02 is not going to be picked. So please be aware that every time you increase the first number, that is major version, or the second number, that is minor version, you should and must update it here. Otherwise, it is not going to work. Okay.
Nikhila,
Yes, Ashu.
yeah, Nikhila, I have one query here. Like, for example, I'm having a version 01-01-01. There I
Okay.
have added four rules, one, two, three, four.
Hmm.
Now in second version 010102, I updated 04. So I have to add only 04 in there so that Pega will take all updated 4 and rest 3 from the 010101 version.
Right,
Now if I
exactly.
come to 010103, I
Hmm.
updated third rule, but I also want that second rule should not be there. Means I want to
You
discard the second rule.
permanently from the application?
Yeah. So means but it's
Okay,
take
so
if I yeah.
right. So for that, we have to learn something called as rule availability, which I'll be
Okay,
teaching you.
okay, sure.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Now, can somebody tell me about this major, minor, and patch? Which number is called as major, which is called as minor, and which is called as patch?
The first number is major, second number is minor, and third number is patch.
Patch.
Perfect, Basha. Exactly right. And please remember that generally in day-to-day life, we all increment only the patch versions. So theoretically, they say minor is for minor functionality changes and major is for drastic changes like application upgrade. But in day-to-day life, everybody is just only incrementing the patches. And when do you increment the minor? So once we reach 99, so 010101, 02, 03, so this 3 reaches 99. After reaching 99, the center number will be incremented. Now again 02 will start with 1, 0201, 0202, and so on and all till 99. After this one reaches 99, center number increases to 03, again till 99. So like that we will keep increasing. Now please be aware that I can skip versions in between. It is not mandatory to go in a sequence. Okay, it is not mandatory. See, after 03, I can jump to any version I wish to jump. It's not mandatory that no, you have to create 04 and after that 05. No, it's not mandatory. After 03, you can leave some numbers in between and directly create 08 or 0, I mean like 9 or 10 or 11. You can do like that. It's okay to leave some versions in between. Okay, it's not mandatory to go in a sequence. Now, why do you leave some versions in between? So the reason we leave some versions in between is okay. In the last session, I told you in real time we have environments. Okay, div environment. Here, the software, Pega software will be installed on a
Nikhila, one
server.
minute. Hello.
Yep, let me complete it,
Sir,
please. Let me complete it. We'll come back to the questions again. So we will have environments called as dev, QA, UAT, and production. Dev means a server on which Pega will be installed, and only developers will do coding here. QA means another server where same Pega software will be installed, but here only testers will test the code. Developers will not come here and do coding. This is purely for testers to test the code. UAT, again Pega software will be installed here. This is purely for the business users to test the code. Developers and QA people will not do anything here. And production, this is the actual place where the actual use of the application will use the application. So these are the four environments generally we have in real time, and some people will also have SIT. This is clear, right? Now, why do you leave some versions in between? So in dev environment, okay, developer is coding. Okay, developer is doing some coding. Now, I'm not sure when this will complete. Let's say I started a big chunk of work. Okay, there is no proper plan yet, like when am I going to deploy this? Now, what do you mean by deployment? Moving the code from dev to QA, QA to UAT, and UAT to production is called as deployment. Okay, suppose I got a requirement, that's a very big requirement. So my team told, Nikhila, give a try. Okay, so just give me a rough estimate. I told them, hey guys, it is going to take me like 3 to 4 months to complete this. It's just a rough estimate. Okay, so they said, okay, start working, let's see how much time it takes. So I don't have a proper time plan for this. It's just a rough estimate I have given them, and I'm just doing a POC kind of thing. POC means like a small mini project. Okay, proof of concept, just I'm doing some trial and errors. This is developer one. Okay, developer one is just doing coding on a on a task, okay, for which there is fixed no fixed deadline for me as of now. Now there's another developer. Okay, there's another developer. Now he is working on some defect. There's suddenly a defect. Okay, users are not able to log in its application. Right away I have to fix it. So this person is working on this defect. Okay, and there's another developer who is working on a new enhancement. So they asked us, can you please add this option to upload documents in the application. So he is working on an enhancement. Okay. So three developers are working in parallel. This guy is working on a task where there's no fixed deadline. This guy is working on a defect for which he has to fix it within 2 days. Within 2 days he has to deploy the code. And this guy is working on a requirement. Okay, where they told him, like now it is July, right? So August 15th you have to deploy the code. So there's a fixed deadline for him here. This guy has a fixed deadline. This guy also has a fixed deadline. This guy doesn't have a fixed deadline. So three developers are working. Now, let's say for example, initially this guy started working and this guy took a rule set version 010104. He took a version 010104. Now this guy came and because he has a defect, he took a rule set version 010105. Okay, and this guy came later, so he took a version 01-01-06. Okay, now this guy completed coding. Okay, so what he did, he completed coding. So here he is deploying the code. He is deploying the code to QA, UAT, and production. He is deploying the code to QA, UAT, and production. Now, which version did he deploy? He deployed 05 first.
05.
Okay. Now, after that, August 15th came. This guy also completed the code. Now, he is coming and he is deploying 06. Okay. Now, this guy finally, this developer has completed his code and now he is deploying 04. Okay. Now he deployed 04. Now, what is the problem? The problem is always the lower version should be deployed first and higher version should be deployed later. Now look at this, 5 got deployed first, then 6 got deployed, which is good. But later 4 got deployed, which is not good. You should always go in a sequence. Now, what happens if I don't go in a sequence? What is the problem? You may encounter into issues. Let's say, for example, here in this, I updated login screen. Okay, in login screen, I added a button. Okay, which is blue in color. Okay, earlier in 05 on login screen, we only had a button which was gray in color. Okay, and in this developer added a new hyperlink, new link called as register now for new users. So all the three changes are done on the same login screen. Okay, so this guy made a change on the login screen to make it the button blue. This guy didn't touch the login screen, so it is like same gray color is there. This guy added a new hyperlink on the login screen saying register for new users. So now when 05 went, okay, the button will be gray in color. The button was gray in color. Now when 06 went, it's wonderful. Here the register now button is there and the button still remains gray here. Okay, let's say because he does save as from 05, right? 06 guy will do code save as from 05. So here also the button is gray in color. So here the button is gray in color. Okay, now we added this. Now 05 guy deployed the code. The button is supposed to be blue in color because he made all the new changes. So what is the problem? Pega always picks the highest version. So according to this, the highest version is 06. But who deployed last? 04 was deployed last. But still, Pega always picks the highest version. I don't care whether you deploy 04 today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I don't care. What I care is what is the highest version. So according to Pega, only the code in the highest version should be executed. Now this guy took 3 months and he designed something new on the login screen, and he just deployed the screen with button blue in color and some rolling images and all that. But as 06 is the highest version, this changes will not come. So when I open the login screen, none of his changes will come. Why? Because after 04, I have 05 and 06. So Pega will automatically pick 06 and Pega will not even look at 04 version. So although your changes are deployed after August 15th, still your code will not be picked. Although yours is a recent deployment, still your code will not be picked because Pega always
Nikhila,
considers the highest version. Yes,
Nikhila, I have a question. But 06 is not available in production. It is not yet promoted.
it
So,
is. Oh, please don't consider QA UAT. Like, let me write it here.
okay.
So, but Nikhila, like a rule set is a collection of rules, right? So
Mhm.
in in that particular rule set, the button rule is updated in 0.04 only. Okay. So that rule is the that button rule is not changed in 5 and 6 also. So will it not pick from 0.4?
So that's what I'm saying. So when this developer did a save as, maybe he has done a save as from 03. Okay, or maybe when he did a save as, the button was still not changed to blue. It was still in the gray color. So this is like development in progress. He took from here. So at that time when he took it is gray in color. Again, so it carried on.
Blue gray
Di-
button gray color was also means the rule set like 01 01 01 02 03 03 04
hmm.
05. So the
Right.
gray was in 0 1 1 itself.
Right.
Okay,
01
then
itself gray is there.
gray
02
then
also gray is
then
there.
then
03 also gray.
then in 2
Hmm.
we have not touched the button rule, and 3 also we
Yes,
have
3
not
also we
touched
didn't
the
touch
button
it.
rule.
Right. Right.
Then in 4 we are updating the button color as a blue.
Right.
Now in
But
5
by the
also
time,
the button rule is not there.
no, it is there. I said right, it is gray in color. This guy has updated it.
Okay, 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 then got it.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is like, please always make sure that the one who is deploying the code first should use the lowest version. The one who is deploying the code next should use the highest version. So ideally, first 04 should get deployed, then 05, then 06. If you do in whatever pattern you wish, what will happen? Pega always picks the highest version of the code. So even if you deploy the code later, your code will not be picked just because you are coming from a lower version. Okay, so always make sure you take the highest versions. Now in this case, how should I fix it then? So how you should fix in this case is, when a developer is working on a task and he doesn't have a fixed deadline, if you don't have a fixed deadline, please don't take the next immediate highest version. So the current version of code in the application is, current application highest version is 010103. Okay, this is the last version in the application. Okay, now this guy don't know when my code will be deployed. So don't take 04, please. What you can do is you can leave some numbers in between. After 03, leave 4, 5, 6, 7. Some numbers you can leave. As many numbers as you think would be required, you can leave. And maybe you can take something like 10. Then this guy who has to deploy the code in 2 days, this guy can take 4. And this guy who comes later can take 5. So, people can use like this in between if you leave the versions in between. And once you are done, okay, so maybe by the time you are done, the highest version is 5. Now you can move all the code from 10 to 6 and you can deploy it. So it is possible to move the code from one version to another version. So what I am suggesting is, if you look at this, okay, so current highest version is 03. Okay, now I started working on a task, and for this, maybe I'm supposed to deploy the code in December. So, long way to go. So, don't take 04. Okay, so what you can do is you can take some highest versions like 15, because December, right? Maybe people can deploy in between multiple times. So, I will take 15. Okay, now there is somebody who came after me and started working on some other piece of code. This guy will take 4. Okay, then another person came and he started working on something else. He will take 5. So like this we leave versions in between so that people can make use of them. If you save it, it will come in a sequence. Okay, 15 will come down and 4 and 5 will go up. So like this we even leave versions in between, and it is not mandatory to go in a sequence. Anybody has any questions so far?
So,
Nikhila,
Nikhila, for example, uh, version 3, version 3 is the highest version, and we are doing a save as. So, Pega will automatically take the version 4, or we can skip the versions and we can take it.
No, you can skip the version. So when you click on the plus icon, you can see it is getting the next highest number. You can erase it and give whatever number you
Let's
want to
say,
give.
yeah, let's say we have taken the 50 from 3 to 15th version. Okay.
Hmm.
And as you said, at the time of deployment, we can move the code from 15 to 10.
Yes,
Okay.
whichever version you want, you can deploy. It's not mandatory to deploy in a
Yeah.
sequence
The
again.
other, for example, if the other developers have uh, completed their code and they have published till 14, then how come,
No, I didn't get your question.
for example, I'm skipping the versions and I have taken the 15th, let's say 15th version.
Okay,
Okay.
you took
And,
15
and
versions, you did your
yeah,
coding.
yeah, with my coding. So if the other developers are also working, right?
Okay, they reached till 14, you're saying.
Yeah.
And now they want, and you still want more time to code, and you can't use 15th version, you're saying.
Yes.
So we also have an option to move the code from one version to another version. So you can,
Okay.
whatever you have written in 15, maybe you can move to 20 again and leave this
Oh,
version empty for them to use. So we have
Okay.
wizards for that. There are certain set of wizards which you'll be learning later.
Okay.
Okay,
Nikhila, I have a question.
sure.
So 010103
Hmm.
and 01015. So you are
Hmm.
saying 010103 is higher?
No, 5 is higher, right?
5 is higher, right? Yeah, that's what I'm
Hmm.
thinking.
No, no, 5
Okay.
is higher.
Okay. And Pega is always going to pick up higher version.
Right, exactly.
So in
So
that
for
case,
every rule will be lying in different versions. So initially, if you see this login button was only in, so this login screen was initially built only in 010101. Okay, 010101. So this has the login screen. Later, I didn't touch this login screen in 02 or 03. I never touched it. Suddenly, I touched it in 4, 5, and 10. So according to Pega, login screen's highest version is 10. So it will take only 10. So like that for every single screen, every single rule, Pega looks what is the highest version and execute it. So they don't care about the lower versions.
so but in that case, that's a problem, right? Because say even if somebody doesn't know when they are going to release it, right? So if
That is
they
the reason
choose a
we are leaving
higher version,
some versions in between so that people can in the meanwhile they can deploy the code, and when my time comes I will see what is the highest version at that point of time, and I'll keep my code in the highest version and I'll deploy.
so in other words, if you are expecting that you want to release certain code sooner, then give it a higher version starting from
Right,
99.
exactly, exactly.
And if you want that you don't know, then give it a lower version.
No, 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 no. The code which you don't know when it will go should be in the highest version, right? See, let's say everybody knows that they are going to deploy it in August and September. So August and September is coming first. So 03, 04 and 05 are coming first. And I am planning somewhere around December. So I will
Hmm.
take 10, 11, 12, 13 or 15, something like that. So later
Yeah, but
deployments, later versions. Early deployments, early versions.
yeah, but if you see in September, you have 0304 and 05, and I have already started working on 15. So Pega will find
Right.
15 also. Won't it, as you
That
said,
is
that it,
only in development, right? So only in development environment, 15 version code will be picked. Okay, but in
uh
QA, UAT and production, I didn't deploy the code, right? So in development, of course, you will find it.
oh, got it.
Nikhila, I have a
Like,
question. Yeah,
Nikhila, one question. Like,
Yes,
uh,
once
even if
let
we
let
use,
let Dilip complete. He started something. Yes, Dilip.
yeah.
okay.
Thanks, Nikhila. So, Nikhila, I have a question. My question is: suppose I'm working on a version 3, and you're
Mm-hmm.
working on version 4, and
Mm-hmm.
other person is working on version 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will go on a leave for some 1 week because I have some personal commitment. I'll go on a leave. But before I come, 4 and 5 are deployed. So, my work will be completed after coming from the leave. So, how will that be? I mean, added to this?
See,
Or
one thing, it's uh,
yeah.
it's like this, man. See, if only if the same rules are present in the versions, then it is a problem. See, if 03, 04, 05 are having any rules in common, then only it is a problem, right? Suppose in 03 you have A, B, C rules. In 05 I have X, Y, Z. In 06 I have some D, E, F. Then there is no problem because we don't have any rules in common. Only if there are any common rules, then it will be a problem.
Okay.
Okay, so if there are no common rules, no problem, right? What is the problem? Anyways, there is no other copy of the same rule. So it is okay. And the other thing is, you're talking about these deployments and going on leave, right? See, generally, to QA and UAT, you can deploy whenever you want. Okay, suppose developer 1, developer 2, developer 3 are working. Developer 2 completed his coding first. He will go and deploy his code. Developer 3 completed later, then he will deploy. Developer 1 completed now, then so you can deploy whenever you want. To QA and UAT, you can do whenever you want, you can do. But for production, that is not the case. Okay, so for production, how we do is we will have something called as release. Release means whatever coding you have done in the last 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, everybody together, the entire team together will plan a date. Okay, we will deploy this code on so and so date. So on that date, dev team, engineering team, server maintenance team, admin team, business users, everybody will sit. Then we will deploy the code. Immediately after deployment, they will test the code, and that's it. So production release, you will not deploy rule set by rule set. All in one go, you have to deploy. Means, let's say, for example, we all decided that story one, I mean, like requirement one, requirement two, requirement three, we will deploy on August 15th. Okay. So till QA and UAT, you deploy whenever you want to deploy. Whenever you are completed, you deploy. But for production, only on August 15th, all the rule set should be deployed in one go. We deploy. Okay, so like this, we deploy the code. For production, you can't deploy whenever you want. Only on a specific release date, we deploy it. But for QA and UAT, you can deploy whenever you want. And please be aware that only if the same rule is lying in multiple versions, then it is a problem. If the same rule is not lying in multiple versions, then it is not a problem. Did you get that,
Okay.
Dilip?
Yes. Thanks for clarifying.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes, the lady who was
And
speaking, can you please go ahead? No, 1 second,
Yes.
there was a lady in the queue. Yeah, yes, yes, Akshara.
Yeah, hi Nikhila. So, like even if I'm working on a major task and I used 0104,
Your voice is
like
break.
while starting the task.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, yes, you're audible. So you're working on a
So,
task and
yeah,
you took some 010104
major
version.
task.
Okay.
Yeah, major
Okay.
task. So after 3 months, if I completed my task and at that time I checked like what's the latest
Hmm.
version. Suppose it's
Hmm.
010115,
Hmm.
and then like while deployment I changed my version to 010116 because the latest is
Hmm.
010115. So is that
Hmm.
fine? Like will that be okay or will that create any issue?
No, that is
Even
fine. No, that is fine. But the problem is, uh, what happens now is, let's say, for example, in 010104, you are working. Okay. 1 second, let me phrase the example. Hmm. Now, and when you are working on it on the login screen, you had, a blue, you had a gray button. Okay, you had a gray button, and you had a blue hyperlink. Okay, so this was the screen when you were working. Okay, now you were still working on it, and by the time you are planning to deploy, what happened is many other developers worked on the same screen, and they added a login button, as they added a blue button. Okay, and now then the hyperlink was red in color, red bold hyperlink they added. Okay, they made these changes. Now, what happened is, by the time you are planning to deploy, you realize that, oh my God, already 15 is there. So why don't I put this code in 16? So you take this code, you kept it in 010116. Okay. You did not touch anything about the gray button or hyperlink. Okay. Actually, your changes are different. What are your changes? Your code was validating username and password. So you are only working on validating the username and password. Means, did the user enter the correct username and password? If not, throw an error. This is what you are working on. You didn't touch anything about the button or anything about the hyperlink. You are purely working on validating username and password only. But people who came after you, they were working on the button and the hyperlink. Now, what did you do? Oh my God, already 15 version is there. You copied all the code from 4 to 16. Now, what will happen? Your code will work fine, but whatever changes were done in between, you will lose all those changes, right? Now, again, the gray button is coming, again, the old blue hyperlink is coming. But in between, many developers worked to enhance the login screen. All their enhancements are lost now just because I did a save as of a lower version into the higher version. So this is not the right way to do the things. Always take versions as per your release date.
okay, got it. Thank you.
Nikhila, I just
Yes.
want to add one thing for everyone. Like
Mm.
versioning is not like as a single member you decide. It's a team meeting, and whenever we took any task, it's already planned and analyzed, like what all screens are going to impact. It's not like
Mm.
randomly we pick anything and we start working and it's hamper the others work. It's everything planned in real world.
Right. So how it works actually in real world is, like let's say for example, most of are all into agile, right? So generally we are picking the next highest version only. So if I am a team of 5 members, okay, and all 5 members got all 5 stories. If everybody is working for August release, one developer can take 01 hyphen 01-03, and the next guy takes, okay, 04, and the next guy takes 05, and the next guy takes 06. And please be aware that everybody is planning for only August release. Okay, so for August release I have 06 till 06 version, and if there are any same rules or common rules in between, then these guys need to work together. Okay, if any common rules are there, we need to talk. Okay, hey, I'm making a change of this rule in my version, you are also making it, please make sure you do a save as from my version and do it. So we talk and we do. If there are no common rules, you can deploy. First, you can deploy 06, then 5, then 4, then 3. You can deploy. But remember, to production, all will go in one time. Okay. Now, like he was telling, we discuss and we do it, right? So we discuss and we do if and only if, we have any common rules in between. Okay. Otherwise, what happens is, let's say, for example, in 02, I have this login screen. Okay. Now somebody did a save as. So this guy, okay, did a save as from 02 version, did a save as to 04. Okay. And this lady, she also did as from 02 to 03. Now, what is the problem here? Login screen came from 02 to 03. Again, login screen came from 02 to 04. No. Login screen here has to come from 03, not from 02, because the recent version was 03. So these kind of issues will come, so which we talk offline and we do. Okay, otherwise we generally pick whichever the next highest version we generally pick. And coming to a deployment which is having a long time, like December release, Jan release, Feb release, for those things, yes, we just, you can, if you're a senior developer or a junior developer, you can just discuss with your team lead, or you can just discuss with any other senior member in the team, and you can just tell them, better, I will take something like a 10 version or 15 version or 20 version. You can discuss like that, and you can take and leave some versions in between, and you can use it. Okay, so this is how we work.
Hi, Nikhila.
Yes, please.
Nikhil, I have a question. So
Let
in
the
this,
lady come.
in
No, let the lady complete. She just asked a question. Yes, please.
Yeah. Um, like in 010103, I have done the changes and I have deployed. After that, the 010104 he started taking the 010103 version because
Hmm.
it was the highest version, right?
Right,
But
right.
uh, I have got some defects, and again,
Mm.
do I need to do in
Take the
the
next highest
010?
version and 05.
Yeah, but already the previous one he has
Still,
taken from 03, right? In this case,
no, no, no. So first on 03 you have some code. Again on top of that 04 you have built. Now you got some defect. You have to do it in 05 only.
okay,
So always next highest version. No going back.
okay. And also one more thing, Nika, if we increase the minor version in the application rule set, we are ignoring the patch versions, right? The
Right, till
previous
99
patch.
everything will be considered. When you say, so if in the application rule form, okay, if I mention it as 0103, which means 0101 till 99, 0102 till 99, 0103 till 99, all the rules are considered.
Okay, if suppose I want to increase the major version, will it pick the rules of the previous version 03, suppose?
Yes, yes. So you're giving the maximum number, guys. So if
Oh,
you say 0201, Zero 1, all the majors, all the minors, all the patches are considered. In 02 till 1, it is considered. This is the maximum version we are mentioning here. So everything below that will be considered.
Okay, thanks, Nikhila. Yeah, that's
Okay, yes, Subodh, please go ahead.
Uh, so say current version is 010102, right?
లేదో క్వశ్చన్స్
And
అడుగుతాండారు.
Guys, please go on mute. Dilip, it's you, I think. Yes, Subodh.
oh, can you show that screen that you had?
Yeah, sure.
The note. Yeah. So say current production version is 02.
Mm-hmm.
And now three developers starting three different things. One is on 03, one is on 04, one is on 05.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for example, if 05's work finished before
They can
03,
deploy. Right. See, as I told you, till QA and UAT you can deploy, man. But for production, we go all in once. And again, remember that if 05 is completed first, it is okay to deploy, but just make sure that there is no dependency. Okay, if there is any dependency, you should be careful. If there is no dependency, you can deploy it anytime to QA and UAT. If there is any dependency in the sense same screen lying in 03 and 05, then you should be waiting. Maybe 03 is
okay,
still not done with their work and you did a
okay,
save as from 03. So please wait, don't deploy because there are chances they may update something. If there is no
okay.
dependency,
So
you can happily go and deploy the code.
right. So in production, but it always will go 03, then 04, and then 05.
Right. In production, it's in a sequence only. See, the reason why we deploy to QA and UAT whenever we wish is, let's say, for example, three developers are working on three different stories. Okay, you guys took, let's say, this person took 7 days to complete. Okay, and this person took 4 days to complete, and this person took only 2 days to complete, and you all are working for this person to complete so that you can deploy the code together. Now these guys completed first and you're still waiting for him to complete to deploy the code. Now it is loss of time for QA team and UAT team, right? At least these guys can start testing if you deploy the code. If you all three deploy it one go and you say guys you only have 4 days to complete the testing, it's a work overload for them. So in the initial days when you completed the stories, you were just sitting idle without deployment, and suddenly you deploy all in one go and say, "Come on, finish it within 4 days," which is not the right thing. So if there is no code dependency, once you're done with your coding and testing, please deploy the code so that QA and UAT can start testing and there will not be any overload to them. So we deploy it once we are done.
And assume if there is a code dependency. So in this situation, assume uh, 05 already went to QA,
Mhm.
and then O4 will be released to QA. But in that case, it will overwrite, or
If
its
there are
changes will
any
not get
common rules, they will be overridden. If there are no common rules,
right.
then no problem.
So is there any option to merge the changes or something?
We don't merge them, but you can, swap the rule sets if you want. But this all you have to take clear offline. So if there are any common rules, you guys have to discuss offline and you have to, here I'm touching the screen, you are also touching that screen. So please make sure you do a save as from my version. So you guys have to discuss offline and you have to do such things.
Okay, got it.
Nikhila, I have a question, Nikhila.
Okay. So guys, this will
Uh,
be the last question on rule sets because rest we'll learn as we keep doing hands-on. So too many questions. We'll do hands-on, then you will realize. Yes, please.
Nikhila, is there any option other than save as to create versions?
No, that is the only why
Only
I'm
save.
not doing a save as, right? We're just clicking on the plus icon over here. Just a plus icon and the new version is coming.
No.
For rules save as is the only thing that we do. You have to do save as, right? Because you're cloning it. So already there is some piece of code existing. You have to clone it and enhance it. So you have to do a save as.
Okay.
Otherwise, how will you get the old existing code? On top of it, you're making some modifications. So save as is the only thing we
Even
do.
if it is a new enhancement, then also
Then
we are
why
supposed to
then
do.
no save as comes only for existing rules. For new rules,
Existing.
it's
Okay.
create option, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now let's park the questions on rule sets and versions, please. Yeah, yes, Jay Krishna. So it's little confusing to couple of people. Let me
I'm
recap once.
totally
Jay Krishna,
confused, Nikhila,
yes,
this
yes,
thing.
I understand because we have people from IT background asking a lot of questions on the versioning. So let me again recap so that you'll it'll be clear for you.
Is
So
it
please
possible
understand.
to provide any data like for
No,
studying
you will.
purpose?
This is already provided on day 3.
Okay, this is enough, right?
Right, this is enough. But just a recap for you, okay? See, rule set versions means we will have major, minor, and patch versions. First number is called as major, second is called as minor, and third is called as patch. And remember, in day-to-day life, we will only increase the third number. Okay? And then when we work in a team, multiple people will be working in a team. So how we take is one version per user generally we take. So Jay Krishna is working on one story or one requirement. He will take 01 version. Nikhila will take 03. Akshara will take 04. So like this we'll start taking versions and we'll work on the code. And you work on the code, please remember that those who are going to production first should take the first version. Like Jay Krishna's code will go to production in August. Then he should take 02. Nikhila is going to put her code in production in September. She should take 03. Somebody else is going in November. They should take 04. So like that, who goes first should take the first version. Who goes later should take the later version. Because Pega always picks the latest version of the code. So always make sure you take it in a sequence. So far, is it clear, Jay Krishna?
Yeah, Nikhila.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just follow the simple logic. That's it. Ignore other questions. As you keep doing, you will
Okay.
realize. Okay. And we only can go till maximum 99. After 99, we'll start with one and we will continue. Okay. And always really remember that only rules which need modifications, we do a save as to the next version. Suppose in 010101 I have 10 rules. Out of 10 rules, only 2 I want to modify. So only 2 I will do a save as into 02 and modify. Again, whatever rules need modification only we will keep in the new version. Otherwise, we will not touch them. And Pega always picks the highest version of each rule. Okay. So as you keep practicing, you will realize more about this. So please park the questions on rule set version for now. We will go to the next slide that is all about rule set locking. Now, what is rule set locking? Let's say, for example, this Akshara made changes in 010101 version. Okay. And what happened? Nikhila, who is a fresher, she came and instead of working in 02 version, she messed up something in 01 version. So last evening, Akshara completed all the coding and it was working perfect. And she thought, okay, tomorrow morning I'll come to office and I'll deploy it to QA and UAT. In the meanwhile, what happened? Somebody came and messed up the code, right? So now next morning it is not working. So generally what we do in real time is we lock the code. So securing. So once I'm done with my changes and I'm 100% sure my code is working as expected, so we lock the code. We give a password and we lock the code. So when you lock it, what happens? Nobody can edit the code. Nobody can delete the code. Nobody can modify the code. Nothing is possible. You can't touch the code. So I locked it. So how do we lock? Let's have a look at it. So every version, do you see this lock symbol? So once my coding is completed, suppose I'm working in 03. Once my coding is completed, I will go over here, expand it, and I have a button lock and save. So I click on it and I can give any password of my choice. Okay. Oh, I have some checkouts. Okay. So it is just a second. Checkout and check in, I'll teach you later. Mm, we'll do one thing. We'll take this version. See, it is asking me password. Do you see it is asking me password? So password, you can give anything. Now, anything means you should follow as per your project. Okay. So in certain projects, they will give the rule set name. In some projects, they will give the release number. In some projects, they will give the requirement number. So go check with your team, guys. What password do you follow generally? Okay, follow the same thing that your team is following. Some people give a standard word like rules. I'm giving the password rules and I'm locking it. Now it is logged means whatever rules are there in 010115, I cannot edit them, I cannot delete them, I can't do anything with them. My code is logged. Nobody can touch it now. So like this, we lock the code once everything is done, and then we deploy the code. Okay. So in real time, every time I complete my task, I will lock the rule set and I'll deploy the rule set so that nobody can touch it and mess up with the code. No further modifications are possible. If you want to modify, take a new version, save as, modify. And do we ever unlock the rule sets versions? Never. We generally 95% of the times we never unlock. We never ever unlock. Okay. It is a very bad practice to unlock the rule set versions and make the changes again. If you're working in a good project and a good team who follows all the standards, you're not going to unlock the version. Okay, after deploying the code, you got some error. Come back, take a new version, save as the code, fix it and deploy. Don't come back, unlock it, update the code, deploy is a very bad practice. Okay, so generally we do not unlock the code. If some issue comes after deployment, we take a new version, we fix and we deploy. Unlocking generally not preferable. So locking and unlocking. Locking the code means no further changes are allowed in that rule set version. Nobody can open the rules from it and edit it or delete it. Okay. And it is mandatory to lock the code before deploying the code. It is mandatory. If you don't lock the code, Pega will not allow you to deploy the code. You have to lock it. Only then you have to push it to QA, UAT and production. Any questions on rule set valid locking?
Can anyone view the code, Akila?
You
Sorry,
can
Nikhila.
view the code. Yes, you can. Looking at the code is possible. Editing and
Okay.
deleting is not possible. So if you see the 01 is logged, I can look at all the rules. I can open them, but editing is not possible in them. Deleting is not possible. So if you look at this, there's a lock. Do you see here? Which means, even if I make any changes, there's no save button. This save as. Save as means put it in the next version, but there's no save. There's no delete, right? But let's see any other version which is unlocked. It is unlocked, right? Look at this. We'll talk about checkouts, check-ins later. Do you see this? I have a save button. So if I make any changes, I can save, I can delete. That's not the case here because this is logged. Saving, deleting, all such things are not possible. Okay. So securing the code is locking.
Thank you, Nikhila.
Okay. Now moving to the next slide. Rule set validation. Once upon a time, a very important interview question. Okay. And when Pega 8 was released in the market, this was one of the most important questions in the, you know, Pega interviews. What are the types of rule set validations we have? So it's pretty easy. Nothing but if you go to a rule set, let me close all this unnecessary stuff. So when you go to a rule set, do you see this? There's something called as validation. And over here you have two options, application validation and rule set validation. So this is what they are trying to ask you, rule set validation. So this one. So we have two types of validation in Pega in rule set validations. One is called as application validation, which is a new feature that came up in Pega 8. Other one is rule set validation, which is deprecated now and no longer in use. So what is the difference between these two? So application validation means in the application rule form, you'll mention the rule sets, right? So this is the application rule. In this, you'll mention your rule sets. Now, the sequence in which you mention the rule sets is very important. So how is that important? According to application validation, whatever rule sets are at the top, they are child rule sets. Whatever rule sets are at the bottom or parent rule sets. Means claims is a child of test, claims int, SCB finance, finance int, SCB, SCB int, AFC chat, app factory. Test is a child of claims int, SCB finance, and all this. Claims int is a child of this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rule sets. SCB sixth rule set is a child of 7, 8, 9. Eighth rule set is a child of 9. So like this, one at the top is considered as a child and one at the bottom is considered as a parent. Now, how does this parent-child relationship help? So, how it helps is when you're building a project, okay, we will put the code in different rule sets. We will not put the code in same rule set. Okay, why do you put the code in different rule sets? As you start doing hands-on, you will understand why do you put and all that. For now, let's keep it out of context. Let's understand that when you build a project, we will keep the code in different rule sets. Just think that, let's say, you take my class material. I will keep all videos at one place. I will keep all PDFs at one place. I'll keep all PPTs at one place. Similarly, when we work in real time, we will have different rule sets. In separate rule sets, separate type of code will be there. Now, how am I organizing it? I will keep one parent folder, inside that a child folder, inside that another child folder, and so on. Similarly, in real time, you want to have a parent child relationship between the rule sets. So one at the top is considered as a child, one at the bottom is considered as a parent. How does it matter who is parent, who is child? How does it matter? What matters is, suppose I have a piece of code in one rule set, okay, and it can call the code which is in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rule sets, okay, which means inheritance. Suppose I am there, I can inherit the property of my parents, my grandparents, great grandparents, and so on, right? Similarly, even in the coding languages or in any tools or in any software applications, code can be inherited. Okay. Suppose I have a piece of code in 8 and 9. This one can inherit or reuse the code of 8 and 9 because 8 and 9 are their grandparents, so they can use it. Similarly, suppose 3 is there. 3 can reuse the code of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 because 3 is a child. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 comes under its parents and grandparents, so it can reuse the code. 6 is there. 6 can reuse the code of 7, 8, and 9 because 6 is a child. 7, 8, and 9 are its parents. Now, can my grandparents use my property? Can they inherit? No. Can my parents inherit my property? No. Only children will inherit the parents' property or grandparents' property. Vice versa, it doesn't happen. Similarly, here, App Factory cannot inherit or use the code which is in 1 to 8. AF Chatbot, which is 8th one, cannot inherit or use the code which is in 1 to 7 because they are its children. Okay, so let me show you for example. Let's see if I have any code in this. Yeah, let's see. See, in this I have lot of rules. I'll take one random rule I will be taking. Mm, okay, there is something, message application request with the same, some message is there. Okay, it is an app factory rule set, which means utmost grandparent. Okay, utmost grandparent. Now this one you can use in any of your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rule sets. Anywhere, wherever you want, you can use it. Let me say, no, I just want to use any other rule. 1 second instead of a message. Mm, just allow me a minute. Oh my god, it's taking so much time. Okay, there is a screen. Do you see access to app? It is an app factory rule set. Means it's my utmost parent. Okay. Now I will take some screen in the utmost child. So utmost parent, utmost child I'm taking. Some screen in the utmost child. Let me pull it. Okay, some screen. Okay, I'll just touch some screen. See, it is logged, which means I can't make any changes in this. So I have to put it in a higher version to make changes. Otherwise, it's not going to allow me to make changes in that. So I'm just taking a higher version 03 to make changes in it. Okay. Now don't worry about all these navigations and all, which we'll be learning later. Uh, okay. So what is this class? It's an at the rate base class. Okay. Don't worry about all these things. Your end goal is how am I using the utmost parent rule in the utmost child? That's it. Don't look at other things. Okay. What is the name of this one? Access to app is the name of this screen. Access to app. It is in the utmost parent rule set. And this is in the utmost child rule set. See? See, whatever is there in this, okay, there is nothing, just two boxes they gave. The same thing is coming here. Maybe one box, yeah, this one. See, this box and this box is what they have designed there. It is coming here. So, child, this is the child, right? It is able to use the parent code. I can reuse it. I can bring it and put it in my screen and I can reuse it. Okay. Whereas parent can never use the child. See, if I want to make changes to this, of course, I have to do a save as and put it in a new version. Okay, but without that I'm doing, which I'll be telling you later. See, if I want to make changes to this is utmost parent, right? And this is utmost child. Parent can never use the child. Look at this. Same way I'm just doing, I'm pulling something. Okay, and I'll say CB fin claims. Even the class name is not coming. I mean, like this rule is present in the this one. Okay, that itself is not coming. It doesn't come in the down arrow when I say it. Sorry.
I think class name is
Yeah,
placed.
right. I kept it in a long place. See, 1 second. Okay. And now if you try, it will not allow ideally when you try to save it, error should come. Oh no. How come it's saved? Allow me a minute. Maybe it is application validation. No, there is something wrong.
Nikhila, because you saved it in the base class, it has access to it.
S- Could be a reason, but still, the rule set should abstract it. If it is not abstracting, then it is kind of a defect. It should ideally abstract it. Mm,
Have we
is it?
saved when you adding it as a parent in a child? So have we saved it?
Just allow me a minute. Which just talking about the save as thing.
Yeah, means when we adding it as a parent in a child. So might be we have
Yes,
not
I
saved it
saved
to
it.
not become a
It is
parent.
saving. It is saving up. Like this is the parent rule set, right? I mean, like where is this one? Sorry, this is the parent one, and it was accepting the child code here. So this is all my child code, which is ideally not the behavior. So this is like a kind of a defect. I should look into it. It shouldn't work this way. Mm, let's try in a different one once. Just a second. Let me try in this. I will call it as parent screen. Okay, and just trying to show you that in parent the childs are not accepted. I mean, like child rule sets you can't keep in the parent rule sets. Vice versa is possible. Okay, I mean, like parent cannot use the content of the child. Child can use the content of the parent.
So Nikla, it's like
Nikhila,
inheritance, like right, top to down, not
Right,
down to top.
exactly. So child should be able to use the code of the parent, but parent should not be able to use the code of the child. So here it is like claims and all these are children. AF chatbot, app factory, these are all parents. So one at the bottom is the parent, one at the top is a child. So if you see this, I
Nikhila,
kept
so
this in. Mhm.
can you please open application definition once?
Let me complete this. We'll look into it. Just allow me a minute.
Yeah.
Supposed to keep it in CB finance. Um, no, allow me a minute. Okay, just allow me a minute, guys. I'll look into this and I'll show you. That could also be because they are all in the same class. It is working. Just allow me a second. That could be an issue. I just wanted to show you that how it throws an error when we. So I took SCB, which is a parent, and in the parent, I would like to pull something from the child. Use and Okay, do you see this? Chargeback. Okay, why is this? Okay, that's because that property is not there. It is throwing error. Mm, okay, anyways, you can see this. See, it is does not exist. Why it does not exist? It is because it is coming from the child. Okay, so I have used something here. It is telling it does not exist. So actually, even if I remove that, you will get a error like, rule set validation error. That message will also change. As we keep working, I'll show you that even this message will change. It will say that, this rule set is not a prerequisite. So it is not your, child rule set or a parent rule set to use. So that kind of error will come. Ideally, it should come in the earlier screens as well, but could be a defect in this version of Pega. Ideally, it throws an error. So what I'm trying to convey is, if there is any piece of code here, okay, child can reuse anything which is in any of its parents. But there is anything here, it cannot reuse anything which is in 1 to 7 because this is a parent. So just like how real life inheritance works, the same way here it works. The child can reuse the code which is in the parent. Parent can never reuse or call the code which is in the child. So when we build our own project, I'll show you how it works. Okay? Because as of now, you guys still don't know what is a class. So once I teach you about classes, I will, create some rules in parent class and child class and then show you how it works. For now, please understand that app rule set validation is of two types. One is called as application validation and the other one is called as rule set validation. Application validation means whatever sequence you mention in the application rule form, that sequence is very important. The one at the top is a child, the one at the bottom is a parent. If you try to call a rule from claims to app factory, it is possible because they are my parents. I can call them, I can reuse them, I can do whatever I want. If I try to call the code from app factory to claims, it is not possible because this is the grandparent. Grandparent cannot reuse or call the rules which are in its child or grandchild rule sets. So inheritance works here. So tomorrow, if you're creating a brand new rule set, okay, the sequence where you place the rule set is very important. I created a completely new rule set. Now, where do you place it? If you place it here, it becomes a topmost parent of everybody. If you place it here, it becomes a child. So you can even move them up and down like this, and you can place them. So where you place the rule set in this sequence matters a lot because the one below me are my parents, the one above me are my child rule sets. Okay, this error in a perfect way I will show you when we start the practicals, like how
Nikhila,
you
sorry.
can't reuse the content.
Nikhila,
Yes.
sorry for the disturbance. I can't understand each point. Okay, I think validation. I can't understand this point. Anything validation.
See, what exactly is validation? Validation means like you're checking whether the code is properly kept or not. Okay. So in real time, we have lot of versions, right? We have lot of rule sets like this. So Pega started giving an option called as application validation starting from version 8. Now, what do you mean by application validation? Application validation means when you have lot of rule sets like this, the rule sets at the top, okay, are considered like child rule sets. They can reuse the code or call the code which is in any of its parent rule sets. Okay. The rule sets at the bottom are parents. They can never call the code or reuse the code which is in the child rule sets. So just you are keeping a restriction who can call whom by putting application rule set validation.
Nikhila,
Did you, one second. Did you understand now the person who said it was not clear?
Yes, 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 yes. Yep.
Okay, now one second, guys. I will clarify. Okay. Before that, you also have an option called as rule set validation. Now, what is this? This is a deprecated feature. This is no longer in use. Okay. This was a feature which existed in Pega lower versions, Pega 4, Pega 5, Pega 6, Pega 7. In latest versions of Pega, it is not in use. Then why are we still having it? Just for backward compatibility. That's it. Suddenly you can't remove a feature, right? So just for backward compatibility, they are giving this. Now what exactly is rule set version? So rule set validation means we don't consider anything here. Whatever you write here is not a matter for me. You keep the rule set at the top, you keep the rule set at the bottom, I don't care. Then how is the validation coming? How do I decide who is parent and who is child? When you put rule set validation, you have to expand every single version and you have to tell, hey, for claim 010101, these are all the parents. You have to explicitly add like this. These are all my parents. Like this, I have to mention. For every single version, I have to do it. Every single version, I have to come and tell, hey, these are all my parents. Like this, I have to tell something, not claims. This itself is claims, right? Like this. For every single version, I'm supposed to come and say who are all my parents. This is how we people used to do in Pega 4, Pega 5, Pega 6, Pega 7 versions, which is hectic, right? For every single version, you have to open, expand, and say, hey, these are all my parents. So, which was an old feature and deprecated feature, which is no longer in usage today. Now, Pega gave a easy word thing, that is application validation. So, when you expand, see, nothing will come. See, that is not coming. The dependency rule sets are not coming.
Okay.
Let me refresh it. Okay. They don't come now. They will come only if you give rule set validation. You have to mention the parent rule sets. So once again, a quick recap. There are two types of rule set validations. One is application validation. Other one is rule set validation. Application validation means if I open the application like this, whatever rule sets are mentioned here, the sequence is extremely important. One at the top is a child, one at the bottom is a parent. Child can call, reuse the code of the parent. Parent can never call or reuse the code of the child. If I have a screen here, I can use it here. If I have a screen here, I cannot use it here. That is a difference. Now, what is the other one we have? Rule set validation. This is a deprecated feature. In older versions, what we used to do is for every single version, we used to mention, hey, these are my parent rule set versions. So, which is little tedious, difficult to work on. Anybody has any questions on application validation and rule set validation?
Nikhila, just if you can go back to that rule set list, please.
Application rule form, this is okay.
Yeah, application rule form. So, Nikhila, just for an example, what is a practical usage of this? Like, where do we place it? Can you give a practical example of a like project for keeping the order? Like, if I have some new feature, where will I keep it?
See, if you see this, let's say look at these rule sets. This is chatbot. Okay, a few days back I made a video on chatbot implementation in Pega. And
Mm-hmm.
chatbot is something which is like at the top. Throughout my application, wherever I want to use chatbot, I want to use it. So these
Okay.
two rule sets I kept at the bottom because I want them to be a parent of my application. Wherever I
Mhm.
want, I should be able to reuse the code. So I kept at the
Okay.
bottom. Let's say today I'm
Okay.
creating a new rule set, which is maybe just a small validation or small UI change I'm doing in that. And
Mm-hmm.
that can be a child rule set because none of these are going to reuse it. Is my
Okay.
chatbot
Got it.
going to use it? Is my this? I'm just think, which one is going to use it? If I think, okay, none of
Okay.
these are going to use it, let's put it at the bottom. It's innermost child. So like that,
Okay.
depending upon the functionality which you have in it. So tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, I will write a piece of code which contains chat GPT. Then again, I'll put
Mm-hmm.
it at the bottom because
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT I want to be reusable for all my child application rule sets. So
Okay.
like that, depending on the feature, you decide who is your parent and who is your child. And again, this kind of things only the senior most people in the team will do.
Okay.
Juniors or people below 8 to 10 years of experience may not do these kind of things. At least people
Okay.
below 8 may not do all these.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
It
Anybody
means,
has any
Nikhila,
questions?
instead of creating the rules in the child rule set, we can use the rules which are in the parent rule set.
Exactly. Exactly. Just like how you reuse in real time. Suppose your parents has a house, you can go stay there and you feel it like your own property. But when your parents come to your house, they may not feel the same way, right? Similarly, the case in code as well. So if there is any piece of code in AF chatbot, all these rule sets can happily use it, trigger it, and do whatever they want. But if there is some piece of code in claims or claims into SCB Finance, AF chatbot cannot use it. You will get an error when you try to save. Okay, so that is the case. So we are establishing a parent-child relationship between the rule sets using application validation. Jay Krishna, are you clear on application validation?
Yeah, Nikhila.
Okay. Lavanya, are you clear?
Yes,
Lavanya, are you
Nikhil.
clear on? Okay. So once again, a quick recap before we move to the next one. There are two types of rule set validations in Pega. One is called as application validation, other one is called as rule set validation. Rule set validation is deprecated from Pega 8. According to application validation, the sequence of rules mentioned in the rule set matters a lot. The one at the top are the child, the one at the bottom are the parents, and child can call or reuse the code of the parent, but vice versa is not possible. And coming to rule set validation, it's an old concept. So for every single version, you have to expand and you have to mention, hey, these are my parents. I may call rules from them. You have to mention it. So which is little difficult because for every single version we have to do it. But now this is deprecated. So no longer in usage. Okay. So now we will move to a new topic. We only have 20 more minutes. So we'll start with a new topic that is class in Pega. Okay, this Sunday we are going to start practicals. When you start practicals on the day one itself, you have to create a new application. So you should know what is an application, what is the rule set. You have to create operator IDs. So you should know what is an operator, what is an access group, what is a portal. You should create new classes. So you should know what is a class. So this all theory is required for you to kickstart building an application, guys. So that is the reason we are doing theory. Okay. Now, what is a class in Pega? So whether it is a class in Pega or whether it is a class in .NET or class in Java, it remains the same. Class means just a collection of rules. Now, people are confused. Rule set is a collection of rules. Class is also a collection of rules. What is the difference? See, rule set, it's a collection of rules, 522 rules. I'm saying class is also a collection of rules. Now, where do you find classes? Let me close all the unnecessary stuff. Rule set, it's a collection of rules. Where do I find classes? If you come to the App Explorer in Pega, the leaf icon indicates it is a class. This is a class. Rules under it. One moment. This is a class. There are some rules under it. Okay. This is a class. One second. That was not loading properly. So just taking you to the default application. Go to App Explorer. Everything which has a leaf icon, it is a class in Pega. So if you expand the class, lot of rules under it. Class, rules under it. Again class. It's not even expanding. Rules under it. So like this, every class is nothing but just a collection of rules. Every class is nothing but a collection of rules. Now what is a rule set? Rule set is also a collection of rules. Now what is the difference then? I'll tell you the difference. Okay. First let's learn more about classes. Now how can I create a class? So if you want to create a class, sysadmin category class. How to create a rule set? Same sysadmin category rule set. So class rule set fall under the same category sysadmin. So I can go and say sysadmin class and you can create a class. Now what exactly is a class? It's just a collection of rules under it. Okay. Now it is just a container holding rules under it. Okay. Now let's talk in real world. What exactly is a class? Suppose I want to build a project. I want to build a project called as Amazon. My application name is Amazon. What is the first thing I will do? I will start building the code. Okay, first let me design a login screen. Okay, then I will design a registration screen. Okay, then I'll design a screen to buy the products and display the products. And then I will design a screen for the payment. XYZ, I'm going to design all the screens and content. Good, but where will you design this? So when you take any software tool or technology or language, Java, .NET, Python, any take anything. We always build the rules under a class. It is mandatory. So first thing that you have to do is the first and the foremost thing that we do is we have to create a class. So Amazon is my application. Now, what is the thing I'm doing here? People are placing orders in my project, right? They are placing order in my project. So I will create a class called as order. So order class I will create. Okay. So I will create a class called as order. Now under this, you create all the rules. Login screen, registration screen, whatnot. Whatnot you want to do. Under the class we do. Okay. Now Amazon came up with something new called as Amazon Prime. So they will create another class here. Prime. This is a class. Now under this, they will put all the Prime related stuff. Means like something related to Prime membership. You will get some benefits and all. Then you will get Prime movies, etc. etc. All Prime related coding. You will put it under the class. Now then Amazon came up with something called as Alexa. So they will create a class called as Alexa. Now under this class, they will put all Alexa related code. Okay. Alexa for home automation. Okay. Alexa for video calls. Alexa for let's say for music and all, like this. So this is all code. Okay, this is all code they are writing under it. But where are they writing it? They are writing it under a class. Where are they putting this? Under a class called as Amazon Prime. Where are they putting all this? Under a class called as order. So you go to any tool or technology, guys. The first thing that you do when building an application is you have to create a class. Only under the class you have to build a rule. You cannot just go and build a rule as you wish. It's mandatory. You need a class. There's no choice. Now, if you go to this Pega application, let's say I want to build a screen or I want to build a flow. So I will say process flow. Now, what is the first thing that Pega asks me? Class. Applies to means class. Second thing is rule set. Because I don't have any unlocked rule set versions, it is not coming here. Okay, you should have some unlocked rule set versions here. At the rate HDFC or HSBC, I should have. Let me check. Okay, we have Paytm anyways. Hmm. Okay. Now I'm trying to build a flow. Okay. Pega asks me, hey, what's your class name? What's your rule set name? What's your version? So it is mandatory. If you want to create a rule in Pega, you have to tell what's your class, what's your rule set version. Now let's say I want to build a screen. They ask you, what's your class? What's your rule set version? So just understand that class and rule set version are like mother and father to a rule. If you're building a rule, you should know under which class, under which rule set version. So I said class is a collection of rules. Correct, right? Every time I create a rule, it is asking me, what's your class? I said rule set is a collection of rules. That is also correct, right? Every time I create a rule, it is asking me, what's your rule set name and version? So class and rule set have same definition. Both are collection of rules. Now, there is a difference again, which I'm going to explain you in the next few minutes. So one common definition for both is class is a collection of rules. Rule set is a collection of rules. Both will have rules under them. So whenever I try to create a new rule in Pega, the first question that I always get is, tell me what's your class? Tell me what's your rule set? Only then I'm allowing you to create. Okay. So class is a collection of rules. Rule set is also a collection of rules. Now, every time I want to build a new code in Pega, first I have to create a class. Under that class, we put all the code relevant to that thing. Now, what is the difference between a class and a rule set then? Let's see. App Explorer. This is my class. Right click on it and say definition. Right click on the leaf icon and say definition. Right click on the leaf icon. One second. I changed my mouse pointer as Paytm so that Paytm thing is coming. You can see this is class in Pega. Okay, this is a class. Do you see the count of rules anywhere here? No, it is not visible. Look at this. This is a rule set in Pega. We see the count of rules, right? Now inside the rules, okay? So these are all the rules, okay? Now let's see what all rules are there here. See, you also have classes, okay? So rule set contains classes under it, okay? Rule set contains class under it, but class does not contain rule set under it. So rule set is like a parent, okay? Class means a collection of rules. Rule set means also a collection of rules, but rule set can contain classes under it, but class does not contain rule set under it. Okay, so if I try to create a new rule set, okay, I'm trying to create a new rule set, sysadmin rule set. It will ask me what's your rule set name. Let's say I will call it as Amazon Prime rule set. This is for Prime. Okay, they're asking me what is your version 010101 version. Do you want to update the application with the new rule set? You know, right? If you don't mention this in the application, it's not a part of your application. Anyways, I don't need it, so I'm leaving it. Move ahead. So I'm able to create a rule set, right? They didn't ask me any class name, anything. They didn't ask me. I can happily create a rule set without any class dependency. Now I'll try to create a class. Sysadmin class. Okay. Let's say my class name is prime. Sorry. Okay. See, it is asking me rule set. Okay. So although class is a collection of rules, rule set is a collection of rules. Rule set will have classes under them. So rule set is actually like a container. It holds all the rules under it. Class is also a container, but it's like a sub container. It can only hold rules, but rule set can contain even the classes as well. Even operator IDs, access groups, everything will be under rule set. Okay, but class will not have operator IDs, access groups, and all such. Class will only have the code under it. Class contains only code. Okay, but rule set contains both code and data instances. I hope you remember I told you what is a data instance. Operator IDs, access groups, roles, and there are many such things which are called as data instance. Means they are just only records in the database. They are not code. So rule set contains both data and code. Class contains only code. Okay, I'll make a point here so that you can look at it later. Please understand that class, okay, it contains only code, nothing but rules. Okay, rule set, it contains code, which means rules plus data. Data means example, operators, access groups, roles, etc. Okay. So class is a collection of rules. Rule set is also a collection of rules. But the major difference is class contains only code. Rule set contains both code and data instances also. So if you look at this is a rule set, right? This is a rule set. Filter it. See, roles are there, access roles. Okay. Similarly, if you scroll down, persona means operators and access groups. They are there. Okay. So like this class contains even data and code. Sorry, rule set contains data and code, whereas class contains only code. Okay. So if you see here, data
Nikhila, you're sharing screen. Sorry, Nikhila, I couldn't see your screen.
It is visible.
It is visible.
Yeah.
Yes, it's visible.
We are able to
No.
see.
Yeah, it is.
Can you rejoin again?
Hi Nikhila, I got a message like the organizer is
Uh,
experiencing technical
I
difficulties.
think he's facing some technical issues with
Yeah,
his
the
ID.
session will end soon.
Hello, Nikhila. Can you hear me?
Yeah, she is facing some technical issue. We can hear
Ah,
you.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
She just sent a text that unable to rejoin.
She asked to end the session. So bye.